Hi, I'm Tanya, your resident behavior analyst, and welcome to the second in my 5-part series on traveling with toddlers during the holidays. You don't need me to tell you how much of a nightmare that can be, whether you're flying, going by car, train, boat. It can be difficult no matter what mode of transportation you're taking. And of course, depending on the amount of time it takes, it can be even more difficult because maybe you're restricted by the amount of toys and activities you can take with you. So I wanted to talk about how to actually work around the activities and your child getting bored. I'm sure that you've read plenty of blogs that suggest that you should take new toys, new activities, any kind of novel toys will help your child get interested and actually want to engage with that toy. And I think that's great, but I understand that you can't always buy a whole batch of new toys just to go on a holiday trip. But I've got good news. There is a way to actually increase the value of the things that your child already has and loves. What do I mean by that? It's already valuable, right? Because they already love it. But here's the thing. If it's something that they get often, then when you take it on a trip with you, they're like, whatever, been there, seen that, I'm bored. They may not engage with it as long as they usually do because obviously at home they have other things that they can bounce to and from as they're playing with that toy or activity. And so they may not interact with it for long periods of time. So you can increase the value of these toys and activities simply by removing them a certain amount of time before you go on your trip. It's going to make it a little bit difficult at home, but like I mentioned, they have plenty of other things to keep them busy, and usually as long as you encourage it and help prompt them through it, you can get them through those few days without the toys and activities that they love so that when they finally do get it on the trip, they're like, wow, I haven't seen this in a while, and they'll be more likely to engage with them for longer periods of time. How long should you remove it? Really just depends on your child, the length of your trip. If it's just 6 hours, you could remove it like 2 days ahead of time, no big deal. But if you're talking about a 12-hour trip or more, then you probably want to remove it for a good 5 days, maybe even a week if you want to go that extreme, because it really will increase the value of that object the longer your child hasn't seen it, especially if it's their favorite thing. And by favorite thing, I mean probably a tablet. I hate to say it, but it's the truth, and it's how we survive these days, especially on long trips. I am not a huge proponent of it when you're at restaurants and other things because I think it's important to teach children to wait. But I say pull it out during any type of a long trip because you need it. Your sanity needs it, your child needs it for their sanity, and it's good things all around. If you can get new toys, obviously sprinkle them in. That's always great. Or any kind of special activity, even if you take toys and you put them in like a bin that they've never been in, any kind of novel component of the toy or activity itself will increase your child's interest in it. If you're driving, then you can plan to make frequent stops. I know that's a pain, but it will really help if your child can get out of the car at least once every 2 hours and just run around for a good 20 minutes. Take a beach ball, take a frisbee, take balloons. I don't care what you take something and just let them play at rest areas, things like that. That'll really help get their energy out so that they can come back in the car for another couple of hours. And you kind of have to do that to go to the bathroom anyway, so you might as well. It's really going to help them stay calm, focused, and a lot less bored along the way. And last up, this isn't really an activity, but I read about it and I thought it was cool. Someone suggested that when you're on a plane and you're taking off or landing, you use a lollipop, which I've heard that before. That's not unusual, but their twist on it was to use ring pops because you can put it on their finger and then they can close their fist and suck on it, and you get less lollipops flying around. I know kids drop things. It's normal, and that's going to help them have something to eat. Maybe, ring pops aren't things that kids usually get often, so that's going to be really interesting, and then they're more likely to suck on it, which will of course help their ears and the pain, which we all deal with. It's difficult. Obviously there's also gum, but if your toddler is too young for gum, then it makes sense to have something like a lollipop or a bottle if they're still doing that. Anyway, those were my tips on activities and ideas that you can implement on your holiday travels with your toddlers. Godspeed. I hope it all goes well. The next part in my series is going to focus on what to do when you feel overwhelmed. It's going to happen. Just plan on it. Nothing ever goes right. You know how it is. And there are things that you can do in the moment and include your child in that's going to help them calm down as well, because they tend to feed off your energy. It's normal. So if you haven't already, subscribe and sign up for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.